Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Group Chat. We've got another hot week. We're talking Yanny versus Laurel, which is clearly Laurel.
Yanny.
We're talking Royal Wedding.
Ooh.
Just took over the news last week.
Love it.
And last but not least, I think our next meetup needs to be at Starbucks because you no longer have to buy anything. You can just sort of hang out and use the bathroom.
Homeless people go there now.
Go there and poop. Let's go. All right, welcome back to Group Chat. I am your co-host, Christopher Drama Pfaff. I am the co-founder of Young and Reckless. I am also the host of the Group Chat podcast on iTunes and everywhere where podcasts exist.
My name's Dee Murthy, co-founder of Menlo Club, and I hear Yanny.
It's ridiculous, man. It's so clearly Laurel.
And it actually isn't.
It is actually Laurel, though. You know that?
I understand the Webster Dictionary, blah, blah, blah.
Thank you.
It's
Problem
Laurel.
solved.
I watched something this morning that says people that hear higher frequencies, aka geniuses, hear Yanny.
There's no tie between high frequencies and geniuses.
Yes.
The only good news is, even though you're getting old, you can still hear high frequencies.
Yeah.
That's the good news for you.
I think
Unfortunately.
I do have a hearing problem.
Clearly not.
I'm legally deaf in my right ear.
Well, you're still picking up the high frequencies.
And
maybe that's the issue. We're talking to a deaf guy about what the
No,
debate
I actually
is.
did this. I plugged my right ear and put it to my left just to hear, and I still only hear Yanny. And other people have said over time they've heard different things. This morning, I gave it a 4-day break before this because I knew we were going to talk about it.
Yeah.
I went, did it again. I literally only hear Yanny.
Yanny every time.
Every single time I hear Yanny. I don't even understand. I don't even know how it becomes Laurel.
It's so weird because it's so clearly Laurel. And it's actually Laurel. It's actually from, I believe, vocabulary.com.
Yeah.
It's just distorted.
Yeah.
But the word Laurel.
Yeah. I think it's super interesting because it's like that dress, the blue dress, white dress.
What color was the dress for you?
It was black and blue.
Okay, good. So at least you're only half.
Or gold and blue. Is that what it was?
No, it was either gold and white or blue and black.
Okay, blue and black.
Blue and black. I don't know, man. Apparently what happened is a kid found it on vocabulary.com. It sounded kind of weird, posted it up, and it is about how you can hear frequencies.
Yeah.
But I also think that like once you get it in your head that it's one thing, it sticks.
That's why I gave it like a good... I didn't listen to it since Thursday, and I wanted to hear it this morning just to see, okay, am I hearing it differently? And I just keep pressing play. Yanny. 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 And I'm just like, it's Yanny. And I posted.
Have you ever once heard Laurel? Because sometimes somebody was playing it on their phone the other day in the other room and I heard Yanny. But then when I walked closer, I heard the real sound, which is Laurel.
It's Yanny.
Okay, well, comment below. Tell us what you hear. And if you hear Yanny, we're going to block you.
I want to find more things like this.
I'm sure
this
there's
is
a million.
Amazing.
I'm sure there's a whole like that show Brain Games and there's all these weird.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating. Like Ellen played one where it was like it sounded like static and you could kind of maybe hear like a noise in the background. Then she played the sentence of what was said in the background and then she played it again and you could clearly hear the voice because now your brain knew it was there.
Yeah.
It's so weird. But I bet you could Google a bunch of them.
I wonder if there's like some weird marketing tactic you can figure out how to brainwash people.
You should think about it for Facebook ads.
Reckless.
Buy 5-4 Club. 50% off. We should look into it.
No, it's Yanny. No, it's Menlo Club.
No, it's Menlo. It's 50% off at Menlo Club right now. Well, we should look into that.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Something that equally took over the news.
I would say they're about on par.
Which is, well, I can't even say it's sad because to me, both are kind of whatever.
Really?
Do you like the royal wedding?
I wasn't hyped about it, but when it happened, I was super hyped.
Did you watch it?
I watched on and off all weekend. I was watching royal wedding stuff. I was following the pictures, following along on social media.
What was the best part to you as a grown man?
So I've been to England many times.
Yep.
And being Indian in the United Kingdom is it's rough because we're pretty much the help of the UK.
Yeah.
And I always felt some weird racial vibes, and I don't really feel that in America ever.
Yeah.
And that's obviously this is perspective being an Indian person. And the UK, I always felt like, I don't know, I don't feel welcomed here. And then I'm watching the royal wedding, and then I realize why it's so historic. Because essentially an African-American woman, obviously she's half, from LA, so she's an American, has now become royalty, which is pretty crazy. So I think the symbolic nature of that wedding is actually a pretty big deal. It just showed, like, they released the portraits this morning of the family. And it was, you know, her mom's obviously African-American, and it's this old white lady. And, like, that's the modern family. Like, if you saw my wedding pictures, it's like a bunch of Indians and then a bunch of blonde people. And that's our life. And
this is America.
And then, so that it's now happening all over the world. Because, like, interracial is still very, like, uncommon in most parts of the world. Like, there's not interracial marriages happening in China. You know what I mean? Like, maybe a Taiwanese and a Chinese person. Like, but
real progressive.
And even that, I know that's not even an easy thing to overcome. So it's like, what I saw was like a big cultural moment. Even the preacher, you know, he gave his sermon, and it was about love, and it was so, like, overzealous and exciting. They're so conservative. Like, the whole monarch is very conservative, the way they dress. They broke tradition. There's a whole list on CNN of all the traditions that were broken, of, like, this is what happens during in a royal wedding, like difference between Kate and William, or Princess Diana and Princess Charles. And I just think that, like, this girl, not only this is her second marriage.
That's also, like...
She's an actress. She's from LA. She's from Hollywood. Like, she went to Immaculate Heart. Like, that's like a local school. Like, this is the local girl became the Duchess.
She made it.
I mean, like, that is just, to me, it's so symbolic. Because, like, one of those things that people always tell you, like, you know, when you meet these successful people, like, you could do anything. And I'm like, no, you can't. You can't do anything you want. And then I look at Meghan Markle, I'm like, you actually might be able to. She just became royalty. Like, Harry is far down the line. He's sixth in line for the...
That's the part that gets me. This is my hater, and I'm a bit of a hater on these things. My problem is I can't understand... I understand that it's a thing, and that it's going to take over the news, and I have no problem with that. For me personally, I can't feel any reason to care.
Because they have no power.
They have no power.
Zero power.
So it's just kind of this, like, oh, you should idolize these people. And it's like, why? I have trouble. And I want to. I don't want to be a complete hater. But when I was, like, looking at any of it, I was like, man, I just don't care. Like, this means nothing to me.
It's like Nick and Vanessa Lachey's wedding.
Didn't care about that either.
Well, there's people that cared about it.
Of course. Did you watch that one?
I'm sure I did.
Yeah, I get it. It's a spectacle. Also, you've been married. I think that's a thing, too.
I mean, so it's just... I also just understand the historical significance of what's happening. Like, the royal family obviously has no power, but they still have a lot of social and cultural clout. I mean, they're still a very powerful family on earth.
And she does do a lot of work.
They do a lot of good for the communities in the UK and Africa and America. And I think they're helping globalize, like, this concept of unity and interracial and like...
I think that's great.
And I think that's why I thought it was actually a pretty big deal. And by the way, they're saying 2 billion people paid attention to it this weekend.
I'm sure. 2
billion people don't do anything except breathe. And in some countries, that may not be happening that well. So I think it is... That's why it's such a big deal, because the world does care. And to watch it and just watch that conservative, you know, like, just seeing those traditions broken. And obviously this is Princess Diana's kid. And, you know, for me growing up, I remember Princess Diana. I remember the day she died, I was on a flight back from New York with my parents. They announced it on the flight, and people were like bawling, crying on the plane. Princess Diana just died in a car crash, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wow. Like, I did not know that kind of impact was being had on people from, like, the English royal family. You know what I mean?
I agree. And she did so much work. Hopefully Meghan Markle has that sort of influence, which I think she's set up to.
And I think that's why he was probably attracted to her, like, break the mold, more like my mom. Even Princess Diana at the time was considered a rogue bride for a prince. And so it makes sense that even his brother went technically for a commoner. And obviously, you know, that's how they have picked their significant others. So it's pretty cool. And then what was even cooler, I'm watching, the coverage, I don't know, BBC or CNN, and I saw one of my friends is in the wedding.
Really?
Janina Gavankar, the actress, Indian girl.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm walking and I'm like, they're like, Janina Gavankar, actress, they played together in some show. And I had seen on Janina's Instagram all week, royal wedding, blah, blah, blah. And I thought she was just like
preparing to watch
DIY,
it.
like home, like thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I look and I'm like, holy crap. I never saw someone at the royal wedding.
That's big.
I know, and it was just cool. And like, she wore some vintage dress, and like, I don't know. It's just like, I was just even more excited. So I'm looking forward to catching up with her and learning more, because like, I'm sure that was the most epic thing, because I think 600 people at the church, and then only 200 were invited to Prince Charles' house for the after party.
And she was at that?
I'm sure, because she came from America.
That's
so
big.
she was one of the brides. She was part of the bridal party. So of the 30 people Megan invited.
That's huge. Yeah. You want to know what my royal wedding is?
Yeah.
Cardi B and Offset. If that was on TV, I'm watching.
Did you see all the memes of, they said Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and it was Ed Sheeran and Cardi B?
Yeah. It's so good.
I bet you if you showed that to a person walking down in Times Square, they'd be like, they look great together.
Yeah, love them. Royalty. I just hope they live stream that one, because that one I will be watching.
Yeah, it was cool. It was fun. I liked it.
Okay, moving on. Fortune released the Fortune 500 for 2018.
Yep.
I didn't pay attention.
So for the Fortune 500 list, for those who don't know, it's the biggest revenue for companies in America. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I wanted to talk about it was we forget we're so Amazon, Tesla, we're so obsessed with all these new companies. And then you forget Walmart did $500 billion last year.
Yeah.
$500 billion.
Yeah. Compare that to something.
Amazon did $177 billion.
Wow.
And that's globally.
Wow.
Walmart did 500. Their partnerships in China, it's insignificant. It's American revenue.
Yeah.
So you're talking.
That's like American revenue.
Yeah. I mean, they are so big.
Yeah.
And, Amazon is obviously at some point going to eclipse them. But Amazon revenue is collective of all of their businesses.
Yep.
They're selling.
Oh, that's revenue on everything?
I'm talking the cloud.
Walmart really? Oh, man.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
So, and it really gets you like excited for like, Walmart still has an army of cash that they can do a lot of things with.
Yeah. And they're trying to take on Amazon's delivery web type of service, right?
Yeah, I mean, they went and bought Flipkart in India, which I actually think that's actually going to be a risky move. As someone that was just recently in India and have cousins who work in the e-commerce field there and who work for Flipkart and companies like that, those are negative gross margin businesses. None of them make money because an Indian customer isn't ready to pay full price for anything. Yeah. They like free shipping, free returns. Credit cards are not as prevalent as they are here. So it's such a long way. It's not a developed economy like China is. Yep. So I think Walmart's going to struggle there. But I like the fact that ExxonMobil and all these companies, like the top 5, are still some of these old world companies. Yes, yeah. Apple is right there. Microsoft's right there. Amazon's like top 10 now. Yep. But they still have a shot. Like, we're all counting all these giants out. Yeah. They still have a pretty good shot if they can be progressive. Like what Amazon did what Walmart did with buying Jet.com. Then they bought all those small little brands like Bonobos and Moose Jaw and all these small. They're trying to make a play at digital fashion. They want to get into. They buying the insurance company Humana. They're doing like big things they're making bets and they're taking chances. But at the end of the day, when you look at that Fortune 500, there's a lot of old ass companies that still do hundreds of billions of dollars that we just kind of like write them off. We're like, yeah, everyone's riding Bird scooters. I'm like, actually,
Bird scooters is the new thing. Yeah. But we'll see how I feel like some of them will pivot and be able to stay that strong. And the problem when you're that big is like if you start to lose the ground underneath you, it tumbles quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because like GE is struggling. It said Amazon's now top 10. Even Tesla finally got into the top 500. Yep. And that's like a revolutionary company.
What number are they?
They just said it moved up 123 spots. I don't know. It doesn't say. And the 4 most valuable companies on the list are Apple, Alphabet, Google, Microsoft, and Amazon.
Yeah.
So I think it's a fun list to go through, and it's fun to put it in like a time capsule. Like, let's go look at, the list from 10 years ago, what's on it, and let's go look 10 years from now, what's on it, and see what happens.
I wonder. Okay, you want to know who's not on the list?
Who?
But is still just raking in the cash. Supreme.
Yeah. Wow.
And they didn't do this, right?
No.
But there was an auction where a guy sold his Supreme collection in like a fancy schmancy auction, like it's art.
Yeah.
How much did he generate?
So they're saying he generated about $1 million.
Do you know how many pieces it was?
It wasn't a lot. So there was like a punching bag, like a boxing punching bag that went for a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think the most expensive item was the Louis Vuitton trunk.
Yep.
I think it said like 60 or 80,000 pounds for the trunk.
Yeah.
This is monumental moment because it could change the auctioning business. Mm-hmm. When you think auction, you think fine art, you think stuffy old people and what they like.
Yeah.
You're selling Supreme like box logo.
And you think did it look like that was this guy's idea? Like he just had this collection. And he's like, I want to get rid of it. I'll just do an auction.
Well, he went to an auction house. So it wasn't Sotheby's or it wasn't, one of the big houses.
Yeah.
But it was a big Parisian French, house that did the auction, and they did it like an old school, and we got a bidder here. But
who was in the audience? Like a bunch of kids from Fairfax?
It was it was young.
I want that one.
It was young, but it wasn't like 24. There was a picture of it. It looked like people my age and older.
That's so weird.
Because you're gonna spend $80,000 on a trunk. You're gonna have money.
But who got the bandana?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It had to be like a kid from East LA. I got that one. That's crazy.
To me, it's like you're going to see such a big shift in auctions because you never thought that because Quavo wants to go to an auction.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
He doesn't want to bid on some old Monet or some whatever piece of fine art. He doesn't care about it.
Imagine the streetwear auction.
Yeah.
With Quavo in the front row.
Yeah.
And Bieber, no, with his little paddle.
Yeah.
I want that. Yeah. Oh man, that's entertaining. But the question is too, there's so few brands like Supreme.
But I think it's just the beginning of it. I also think it also opens up for artists that target this demographic.
Yeah.
When you think of hip hop inspired art.
Yeah.
There's so even streetwear artists. I was a friend of mine was in the office the other day that represents people like Futura and all those people how Roger Gassman who did Beyond the Streets at in downtown LA. Those artists still don't have they're not in the big galleries. Yeah. Some of them are, but most of them don't have proper representation. Yeah. And that's what our generation we grew up looking at all these artists, and they're not represented in the fine gallery kind of community, whether it be auction houses or art galleries or you see them at Art Basel, you see them popping up, but that's what these streetwear money people want. Yeah. That's the art they know. Yeah. And there's not a community for. I think there's an amazing opportunity to be the auction house that caters towards you know how many people would love vintage sports stuff, vintage Gucci, vintage Louis Vuitton, and I'm talking about our friends would buy that stuff. Yeah. And nobody's catering to that.
There should be auctions at Art Basel. Yeah. Because that's that crowd.
Yeah.
Right.
That young money crowd. They need you don't think some artist would pay $40 grand for some vintage Louis Vuitton piece? Why not?
Yeah. That's good. Speaking of art.
Yeah.
Puffy. Yeah. Is still incredibly rich.
This is so rich.
Yeah. And doing just rich guy things.
This is a really rich guy thing.
He's almost a billionaire, right?
He's got to be.
Okay, so he bought a piece of art. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that I read was, is it the record for the highest living African American artist sold?
Yes.
$21 million.
Yeah. And Swiss Beats turned him onto it. The name of the painting is called Pastimes by Kerry James Marshall. And it's, depicts the black experience is how he described it. Yep. And, this is first of all, $21 million for art just shows how much money this guy has.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Because because especially when you buy art at his level, you're parking your money.
Yeah.
meaning you don't need it.
Yeah, you don't just 21 million. It's like, oh, that's cool.
Like it's like a tax shelter.
I wonder where he puts it. Like, does it go in one of the houses?
$21 million piece of art is tough to put in your house because he's having those after parties.
Yeah. You don't want
Next
French Montana.
French Montana like elbows in.
Putting a bottle of champagne.
I ain't worried about nothing.
Yeah.
Now you're worried about that $21 million.
So where's it go? Does it go to like a gallery? Like how's that? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
super rich people stuff.
So a lot of people leave it like, so this is at the museum. This piece of art has been at the museum, the MoCA in LA. It's been at the Museum of Contemporary Art in Chicago. So he may just lend it to a gallery.
Yeah.
But he could put it in his house, just put a glass case around it, like how the Mona Lisa is.
Sure. He's super rich. I mean, he might just. He still has like rapper instincts.
Yeah.
Like it might be like in his next music video.
Yeah, why not?
You know, just like dancing with it. I would.
He's liquid.
Yeah.
When I saw this, and you know what I like about him? Like making a purchase like this, he's all about Black excellence, supporting his community.
Yeah.
And it's all fine and dandy to speak about it.
Yeah.
He put your money where your mouth is.
He sure did.
I think people don't realize this is actually equally as significant for Black culture as it was Meghan Markle getting married.
Yeah.
He went and said, you know what? Here's 21 million.
Because I'm sure he wasn't blind to the fact that by doing that, all of this press would go on to this Black artist.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. And I think it's such a cultural power move.
Yeah.
And, you know, we all want all these people to be like these incredible human beings. And at the end of the day, Diddy has a reputation of having a good time and being a great entrepreneur. But like this is actually a pretty big deal. And I thought it was really cool that he went and supported, especially because it's a living artist. So it doesn't really go up in value until the guy dies.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well. It's cool. And
It's really
the same
cool.
way I looked up to Diddy when I was younger for like the chains in the cars.
Yeah.
Now there's a new bar.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Facebook
Yeah.
is the land of not only fake news,
Yeah.
but fake users.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's not even real people on there.
They deleted 530 million accounts.
How many active users do they have?
They said from beginning of the year they deleted 530 million accounts.
I gotta check and see how many people.
They
how many
said
of my followers.
2.2 billion active users is what Facebook claims, and you're telling me 500 million plus users?
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's crazy.
I feel like Facebook. I feel like nothing's gonna affect them, but they just keep taking L's.
When I saw that, I was literally pissed off.
Yeah.
We've spent tens and millions of dollars on Facebook ads between all the companies.
Yeah.
And we served them to fake people. I want my damn money back.
You need to file a lawsuit.
Yeah. I want to be the face of a class action lawsuit against Facebook for every dollar refunded to every business that served an ad to a fake person.
You need to tell Mark to get that booster chair and get back in the courthouse.
Yeah. We're going to take a picture standing next to each other.
Yeah. Hey, little guy.
Yeah.
Give me my money back.
Dude, it's so insane. 500 million fake accounts.
But I wonder how do you handle that? Like, there is millions of dollars being spent to market to fake accounts. How do you...
I read a stat that some reporter said that he thinks there's 6 million fake accounts created every day.
They've got a lot of issues.
Yeah.
And their stupid little commercial. Have you got that commercial? It's like, we met on Facebook.
Yeah, we're here to
we're
connect
here
people.
for a connection. We're so good. Stupid.
Fake.
All your friends on Facebook are fake. It's all fake.
Those likes are fake.
The
that
news
comment
is
your
fake.
mom gave you, it's fake.
Fake. It's not even your real mom.
Yeah. Fake mom.
Fake mom, fake news, fake users, fake book.
Fake. I was just going to say that.
Welcome to Fake Book.
It's the WWE of real life.
Yeah, it really is. You be careful. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on to once again, sad piece of news.
Mm-hmm.
Another school shooting.
Yep.
This time in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
10 people died.
Yeah, 8 students, 2 teachers, they're saying.
What are you... I don't even really know because it sounds kind of like...
How many times do we have to talk about this?
Yeah.
It's crazy. And it's happening in a state where gun laws are a little looser.
You know what got me is everybody in Texas has a gun.
Everybody.
So your whole, like, a good guy with a gun kills a bad guy with a gun. Everyone in Texas has 5 guns.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Where were they?
And so these guns that this kid used were his father's.
Yeah. It was a revolver and a shotgun?
Yeah. That's what it sounds like.
And the kid lived. He didn't kill himself. Got too scared.
I don't understand how like a black kid in like Baltimore goes and like gets blown up over a phone reaching for his pocket. This guy is blasting students. I think they said 25 minutes or something crazy, and he lived.
Yeah.
How?
I don't get it.
Kids just get gunned down for going down the street, and this kid blasting everyone, and he lived.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't even know at this point like what happens, right? Like the Parkland kids reached out, I heard. But everyone just doubles down. It just polarizes everyone even more.
Yeah.
They were saying that, like I think the NRA or somebody said that it was violent culture that they blamed.
Oh, Oliver North was on CNN saying Ritalin is part of the problem.
Oh, cool. We should ban it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Let's ban Ritalin. Let's ban video games. Let's ban rap music.
Yeah.
Let's ban everything, but let's not ban guns.
But keep our guns off my cold dead hands. It's so stupid.
So stupid.
So anyway, I don't even know. Literally, I don't even have anything like that really I think means anything.
Yeah.
Or like because I at this point am a little just sort of lost on it.
Yeah, I mean it's just sad, and I hate talking about it.
Did you see that they released all the witness testimonies from the Vegas shooting, which I'm fascinated by, the whole conspiracy thing? Yeah. And that one of the people, he met someone off of Craigslist to sell him a gun part, and he was ranting about how Americans need to wake up and arm themselves, and something drastic had to be done to tell them that they need to all get more guns. So potentially shooting and killing 50 people was to
gun sales are up.
Yeah.
Wow. That's scary.
That's weird.
And the other thing that was really interesting, there's a site that, it's a political site that actually went and said there was so much fake news as soon as this happened.
I'm sure.
They started calling this kid a crisis actor. All these fake accounts and fake news went up on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like his accounts, him wearing a Hillary Clinton hat.
Yeah.
It is insane.
It's insane.
Like instantly like discrediting everything that we all think is normal and common sense.
Yeah.
Was being discredited, and then they went line by line. This is fake. This is fake. This is fake. It's crazy. Like you can't even deal with issues when you're being manipulated by situations and people that have nothing to do with real information.
Yeah.
That's another part of the problem.
It's a weird time.
I mean, freaking kids are dying in their high school. Like the kid said, I just expected this was going to happen at our school. That's nuts.
Why it used to be like, this could never happen at my school. This is crazy. The girl was like, yeah, I mean, it happens to everyone. Yeah. So I just figured one day it would happen.
Yeah. And this kid is like targeting kids he didn't like.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. It's super sad.
Okay. For some very upbeat news.
Yeah.
There's some very good news today.
Yeah.
And that news is that literally anyone with a body can go into Starbucks.
Yep.
Hang out.
Yeah.
Use the internet. Go pee.
Take a dump.
Take a dump.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy a thing.
Yeah.
And they said this openly.
Yeah.
Why do you think they did? Why? They just need traffic? It's just like if we have traffic, doesn't it seem
No,
like...
it's not a traffic issue. They got so much backlash for that arrest that happened.
Yep.
With two guests.
Yep.
2 African-American guys were just arrested for like no good reason.
Yep.
That people were boycotting and saying, hey, you don't treat your customers fair. Have you ever been to a Starbucks in New York City?
Yep.
Have you ever been to the bathroom?
Yep.
It is... Okay, so if you live in a coastal city and you go to a beach bathroom, so like if you're talking public toilets, beach bathroom is the worst.
Yeah.
It's like a prison thing because of germs and stuff. There's like nothing.
It's just stripped.
It's literally like a metal toilet
metal
all on the ground.
Yep.
You're pretty much, if you have to take a dump,
God bless you.
You're better off doing it in your pants.
Go in the ocean.
Yeah. You're better off going to the ocean.
Yeah.
That's excellent advice.
Thank you. We give travel advice here too on group chat.
So public restrooms, I generally don't like going to, period.
I don't think anyone does.
In New York City, often, if you're walking and you got to use the restroom, I'll give you an advice.
Yep.
Go to a nice hotel.
Yep.
You can walk into any nice, go to the Ritz, go to the Four Seasons, go to the Waldorf. They have beautiful bathrooms.
Yeah.
Going into a Starbucks bathroom is the most disgusting thing on earth.
Yeah.
You know what even freaks me out about this Starbucks bathroom experience? You know when they hand you like the key that's
Yep.
like this long?
Yep, that's attached
That's
to
like 3 foot pole.
Oh yeah.
And I had to touch the pole. Do you know who touched the
Oh,
pole
yeah,
right
the pole.
before that?
That pole.
The guy that didn't wash his hands.
Yeah.
That took a dump.
Yep.
God knows what else he did.
Yep.
And he hands me his pole.
Pole. Yeah.
And he goes,
His
enjoy.
dirty pole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we're just like, let's let anyone come in to our place.
Yeah.
And you don't have to buy anything.
Yeah.
So if you're homeless, you're probably not watching this show, but you should definitely
Head to Starbucks.
yes, if you know homeless
If you
people.
see a homeless person today, give them a couple bucks and say you can poop in Starbucks now.
You don't even need to give them a couple bucks.
Yeah, but come on.
Okay.
It's the greatest gift you got all day.
I mean,
$2 and this little gem of advice, and say you heard it on group chat.
So I think it's a pretty major business decision, and I actually just read an article right before this of a bunch of backlash from their employees because they're
I
like,
bet.
you just invited chaos into our stores.
That's a nightmare.
Nightmare. So imagine everyone now. Let's say a homeless person comes, stays, or like someone who's just combative. I saw something. I don't know if this was Tim Hortons or Starbucks of some
somebody
woman
like-
that
yeah.
like threw her feces at the guy's face.
Yep, that's what happens when you let anyone in.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
That's
get
a-
poop thrown around the place. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, if you work there, it would be a nightmare. And to me, it just feels a little like lack of effort. You know? Like, oh, these two people got thrown out, probably for racial profiling.
Yeah.
So everyone can come in. That's, you know what? We don't care. We're so equality based.
Yeah.
Literally everyone come in and do whatever the hell you want. We should try to push it. It'd be
Yeah.
a good like YouTube video to try to go push and see how much you can do in there. Like, can you
I'm
play Twister
Super down to have a group chat meetup inside of a Starbucks and
should.
not buy a thing.
and do a live episode
Yeah.
and play a game of tag?
Yeah.
Why not? We're allowed, right?
Yeah.
And not buy anything.
not buy anything.
That's weird. I don't like it.
I think it's a really risky move. You know what I would have said? I would have said, why don't you test it in a small controlled group of locations?
Yep.
And say, does this actually make an impact? Do people actually care? Or why don't you do some proper racial training?
Yeah, they did, but it was like shut down for 2 hours.
Yeah, you can't change a lifelong of
Yeah.
racism in 2 hours.
Yeah, a 2-hour training course.
Yeah. Hey, you know when you see another person that doesn't look like you, don't treat them like shit.
Don't treat them like shit. Okay, back to lattes. But you also can't turn Starbucks into a public restroom.
Yeah.
What's that going to help?
I mean, it already is.
But now they're encouraging it. You
Starbucks
can
is
do this
so
without
gross.
buying anything. That is like, I don't know. Okay, well, we'll see what happens.
I do like those breakfast egg wraps, spinach wraps. They're so good.
Well, you'll be one of the few paying customers. So
There's
go
gonna be
grab one. They'll be
endless
like,
amount
oh
of-
my God, you're getting something? Please come in.
I'm curious to see if their sales go down or up because of this.
Well, in theory, it would have to go up, right?
'Cause you're just
going to
inviting-
grab a
Yeah.
little latte.
Grab your pole and have a latte.
Grab your pole, get a latte with your dirty hands. We'll see what happens. Okay, last but not least.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest. I haven't cared about this topic since I was 12 years old.
Okay.
Back when The Undertaker and Hulk Hogan used to reign supreme.
Yeah, my guy was, I like Macho Man. I
Randy
like
Savage.
Teddy DiBiase.
Yep. So wrestling's booming.
Booming.
Why? Do you think that, like, in a land where everything's fake,
Yes.
like the wrestling doesn't, we
Yeah.
don't care anymore? Like, who cares, man? My news is fake. My Facebook friends are fake. My family's fake.
Guess what's real? That bathroom at Starbucks. that you
Yeah,
would
very
take.
real. Very, very real. But what do you think? Like, why? Why?
I think it's just pure entertainment. So Fox just signed a huge deal. There's people are saying that it could be worth $1 billion to put SmackDown and a bunch of other shows on primetime channel Fox.
And also, before we talk why, can you quickly tell me, like, what makes it booming? Like, the ratings are up? That
Ratings
deal-
are way up. The business is very profitable. I'll give you an example. Last year, I had a conversation with someone at WWE about digital advertising.
Mm-hmm.
The rates are astronomical. And I was like, this is how much, like unboxings on YouTube. Some of their people, they wanted 6 figures, their figures. And the way, like, they own all the people.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they own your likeness, so they can't do stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm sure, like, The Rock is still paying his
paying out of his
check every time the word The Rock is used because they own the likeness. So the business is just booming. And so I read a really interesting article. So they said Fox is signing and doing this huge deal with WWE, and you know, UFC is like another similar audience is targeting.
Yeah.
And recently there's been some stumbles in UFC with the drug testing, and then the ratings on some of them were a little low, pay-per-view, like whatever, right? Yeah. And the guy was like, do you know why I would bet on wrestling more than UFC? He's like, it's fake. You can control it. You can do whatever you want. Yeah. UFC is unpredictable because it's real life. Someone's going to cheat. Yeah. Someone's going to break their leg, and the fight's over in 10 seconds. Yeah. WWE is completely fake. Yeah. And it's controllable, and you still reach that same demographic. So the stock has been up. They said, I think the stock's up like 60 or 70% this year. The company's so just booming, and like when I tried to talk to them about advertising, unboxings, and they're actually a really well-run company. The way they think about digital marketing for brands, they had YouTube packages, TV packages, on-premise event packages. It was like one of the more progressive companies I'd worked with in the way they advertise their brand. So I actually think they're just really well-run, and the company is just, I don't know, it's just like very progressive, and since it's all fake. Yeah. And what's interesting to me is that, like you said, like it's like, I guess for them it's like watching a sitcom or a drama, or like we watch
it's like a soap opera for young people.
I don't think it's that young. I mean, Ray, how old are you?
29.
29.
Ray's 29, and he loves it.
And I see you're
you see how he lit up?
He's commenting. He's at the event.
He's filming us right now on his phone, so he can send it to his friends. Be like, look, bro, they talked about it today. Yeah.
So I mean, wrestling is just one of those things that I think that like is bigger than ever. Yeah. And I like the idea of like locking in on something that you control. Like I get from Fox perspective, like, oh yeah, we can always make it interesting.
Yeah. Who would have thought though? I always thought the fakeness would be like a ceiling.
And check this out. So I end up reading an article today because I wanted to just brush up on my wrestling. Mm-hmm. And the first article was, there's a wrestler who's a liberal guy. Yeah. And he has a wrestling move. So he wears an all-over print Hillary Clinton t-shirt. Yeah. He's like, I go to places where traditionally lean right. Wrestling fans are more right-leaning. They like their guns, whatever, right? And he goes, so I want to be the voice for the liberal wrestling fan. Yeah. And so he has a wrestling move. I don't know if it's like a chokehold or whatever it is, called the liberal agenda.
Oh, no.
You should really watch it. It's on Yahoo Finance cover for WWE. And when I saw liberal agenda, I was dying.
And people love it.
Love it. And think about it. If you're right wing, you could just bash him. Yeah. And then when he wrestles, like,
oh no, it's coming, the liberal agenda. Oh, no. Man, I want to watch it now. I want to just want to see what's going on.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a big SmackDown viewing.
Yeah, let's do a SmackDown viewing.
Oh yeah, and then the last thing, because we just got noticed, but we didn't talk about it before, was Netflix just signed a huge deal with the Obamas, Michelle and Barack.
And what does that mean? What type of deal?
They just said, I'm sure there'll be more information by the end of the day or tomorrow, but they just said scripted, unscripted, docuseries, locking them down for multi-year to do content.
Do you have any idea how much that would cost? What do you think was the check they wrote to the Obama?
It's big. I mean, they're giving, how much did they pay Dave Chappelle? $25 million a stand-up?
Yeah. So what's Barack get, 50?
I mean,
to lock him in for everything, 100?
Like if you could do like a Keeping Up with the Obamas reality show.
So good.
10 episodes.
Plus the little daughter's wild. She's like at EDC smoking weed and like, you know what I mean? That's good. Well, I can't wait to see. I have no idea what that would mean, and I feel like I would be shocked if they let them in that deep into their lives. Yeah. But man, whatever it is, I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be pretty smart, thought-provoking. But I also hope they do stuff that's a little more lighthearted, a little more transparent. Like, I'll give you an example. There was an interesting piece of information from the royal wedding this weekend. Mm-hmm. And who knows if this is true or fake news, but they were definitely invited, Michelle and Barack. for the royal wedding, and they passed because they thought it would be. This is what people are saying. They thought it would be a bad look for the sitting president of the United States not be invited.
Yep.
So they gracefully declined. Who knows if that's the real reason or not?
Let me just say, if that is the real reason, that kind of annoys me. Because I think it's like too classic.
Yeah.
You know, like shut up.
Yeah.
This guy's like tweeting crazy stuff. Like just go to the like go.
That's why I don't know if I believe it.
We need you right now.
Yeah. But just be at the royal wedding with the iPhone and get a selfie with Prince William.
Yeah. Give us that.
Living our best life.
The best life. President who? 45th. Never heard of him. You know?
Yeah, and I mean that's the only way you're gonna beat this guy.
Yeah, like you don't have to like outshine the president. I just think that's a little too, if it's real,
old school.
Too old school, too by the rules. Like, shut up. This guy is not playing by the rules whatsoever. That's why people like him.
Yeah.
And you need to, you know,
play by your rules.
get some balls.
Yeah.
Barack.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was disrespectful. But just come on. Do a little more. We need you.
Come on. I'm sure Barack heard Yenny.
Let me tell you one thing. Donald Trump. Big Yanny guy.
Did you see their video they did?
No.
The White House?
No, I saw it, but I can't watch any. I can't.
Oh, it's so good.
What was it? They went around and asked
The White House asked all the people, like Ivanka, Kush, I mean, like everyone. And then they all say, Yanny, Laurel, blah, blah. And then they go to Donald at the end and he goes, Kofefe.
I'll give it to him. That's funny. That's funny.
You should watch it. It's on the White House Facebook.
He definitely heard Yanny.
Yeah.
Just saying, think about it. Okay, that was it, right?
Yep, we're done.
We did it. Guys, thank you so much. Please continue to subscribe, tell a friend, share the video.
Please tell one friend this week.
Everyone,
one friend.
We have one request. Tell one friend to watch Group Chat.
It could even be the fake friend you have on Facebook.
Doesn't even matter. He's not even there, and he'll be deleted by tomorrow. Subscribe, like, comment below.
That's it.
We did it. Everyone have a great week. Thank you so very much.